evening, Akron. How y'all doing? All right. Thank you for braving the cold and coming out. I know for a few of you, this is your first time out at this event, first time in this theater. Excited to have you here. We've got an open mic list over there. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But we also have a featured poet who's going to start the night off and then end the night as well. And our featured poet has been performing at least since 2015. I know we talked about this recently. I can't remember if you had an exact date for me. And you had to be, what, early 20s? When did you start?
23.
Okay.
All right.
22, 23. And not just performing young, but like killing it young and performing in slams. And I'm sure, I don't know the tallies, but I'm sure from the videos I've seen winning slams along the way back then, even as a young poet. So I'm thrilled to have our feature here with us tonight. Please give a warm welcome for Damien McClendon.
How y'all doing? How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
It's really good to be here. Thank you, Keith, for inviting me. This is actually my first time performing at Angry Cow.
Hey!
So,
All right.
thank y'all for opening up the mic to me. So I'm originally from Youngstown, Ohio.
All right, Youngstown.
Okay, that's from Youngstown.
Warren.
Okay.
Warren, yeah.
Lived in Youngstown till 8th grade. Then after 8th grade, my mother moved us up here to Akron. So I actually went to Goodrich for 8th grade, and I went to Garfield High School. Garfield alumni? No?
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
I'm a Garfield neighbor. I didn't go there, but I live right by it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm class of 2010. Seems like so long ago.
Yeah.
So, as Keith said, I'm going to do some poems for y'all. That's cool.
That's cool.
I have some that I have memorized, some I'll read, and yeah, we'll mix it up. All right, so I'm gonna start off with, I guess the poems I usually start off with, poems about my son. So I'm a father. Got some parents in here.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. My son is 10 years old, 5th grader, and I wrote both of these poems when he was maybe 5 or 6. I'll start off with this one. For black boys from the hood who rollerblade, like the world ain't already trying to catch us slipping. Prefer us a body in a hole and never hole in our bodies. I took hold of my first pair from grandma's hands. A garage sale gift of grace. She knew her grandson was on a different kind of grind, but she never made me apologize for it. So to all my friends who wear blades on their feet like the world don't look at us and see weapons already. I was a child conceived in rehab. 6 years later, my mother taught me how to skate in a parking lot. Cause ain't no skate parks in the hood. I guess you can say my mama broke a crack pipe and built a half pipe. Figured her son wouldn't go to prison from getting high this way. Glad she didn't see me get pulled over though. On my rollerblades, senior year at Kent State, 4 white officers pull up 2 black cars to tell me I can't skate here in the street where I have skated since before I had any scars. Now the gravel has so much in my flesh and blood. We family at this point. Ain't no skate parks in the hood, but the police pulled me over for skating in the street. Now, even this simple joy feels like something I gotta fight for. Like every time I crack a smile, I break a law. But I mean, we are rebellious like that. We skaters who liberate architecture, repurpose it playground, grind the face of any gentrified structure, and scrape our well-oiled skates against its smoothest tooth if we are to be swallowed anyway. Might as well shred the windpipe. Might as well have some fun in this heartless stomach. Mama didn't teach me to skate for nothing. My family of smoke. We do not inhale enough heirloom, but my family, we handed down joy like it had been in our family for generations. And we too often reminded of this trauma we inherit like a curse. So we never let ourselves forget that the joy is even more prolific. It is 1950. My great-grandmother is giving the girl who will become my grandmother her first pair of skates. It is 1950. And my great-grandmother is giving the boy she does not know will become her great-grandson one of his greatest smiles. It is 2016, and my mother is giving my son a gift of grace. Niall was skating before he had running all the way down packed, and I be a proud father amazed. I can't even lace mines up without him running to get his, like he wants to be just like his daddy. And that's something I can't relate to, but I've always wanted to give my kids what I didn't have. So we take a deadbeat and turn him into music now that I can skate to. And our living room didn't have no furniture, but we still got our life there. Repurposed all this intergenerational joy on wheels, and Niall trips and falls and cracks up the earth, and his laugh calls out the ancestors, and we all rejoice at how alive and beautiful we are and still becoming.
Yeah.
Salt Lick. In the window, you fold a ray of moonlight into a paper plane and wait in a storm. And each percussion of the rain's pulse beats you, and you wonder, what if the sky was closer to the heart? What if the sun was not a brightness within a shadow's chest? Imagine a circle of giants with their hands up, all releasing a murder of blackbirds from their rib cage, each bird becoming a tomorrow without a wound in it. Child, the blood runs barefoot through the veins. The road goes on forever. Forever is just a breath, big enough to build a future that is not a history. We were just kids, trying to figure out how far we could go without getting whooped for leaving the block. I was sent to the corner to purchase squares for my mother. A circle was just one continuous edge. When morning broke, square up, she wanted to say. You thief, you slumlord leech, square up, scammer, you lamprey of a sickly perch. Then she reached into her wallet and paid the rent. Silent, at the hands of a child stealing sweets, and there, bludgeoned by the edge of an ever-widening pain, she depleted the air with a sigh. There was a scythe in the pit of my gallbladder, reaping its harvest clumsily. I stumbled through the eroding gully and wound up in the gizzard. I turned over a morsel of the city's muddy grit like we all did as children, seeing the insects scatter in all directions. We decided their fates like gods, little gods, stupid little gods in the valley where the small guys gamble their good money. It was good times on the first of the month. It was good grief by the third. It was good years, vacuous blimp, sauntering seraphim over a city animated by 1,000 furnaces, all fed their diet of swine iron, and blue-collar coal workers coughed up their lungs and ate them. Layoffs with no fuss. Unreasonable workers expecting to be paid handsomely when it takes them their whole lives just to get on their feet. Savages out of arboretum projects of weeping trees where the fruit hangs low and is harvested first by the weeping, molesting hands of poverty, where the police hear, watch, and don't fight their own voyeurism. Watchmen waiting in the shadows for the shadow men, but they'd arrest him fresh out the womb. Born feet first, that boy hit the ground running. Cops called in a breach. He broke into life, allegedly, a garden, a farm, his flesh, another form of cultivated land, blood, where native sons trespass in the hollow of their own bones, bones where hematopoiesis is as much a making of poetry as it is a process of exalting new sanguine rivers. He be damned. His poems exploited for pleasure and hydroelectric power. Is the same depraved principle. A diuretic for the indomitous Midwest, our once frozen plateau of Appalachia, erupting with nauseated peat bogs, poor Appalachia, waterboarded with factory sludge, Appalachia, stoned with heroin and abandoned in the rust of this valley, encrusting even our souls, the rust corroding our prayers, the iron in our blood, rusting, our salted steel town a lick in the eyes of the cricket. Tick, tick, boom, crickets, heavy in existence. In Bomb Town, we out here, in time we ain't got, building worlds from scratch at the last minute down here. All the plants have eaten and went silent to our neuroses. Manufactured to last the lifetime of metal. We heavy in these stars. Steel-toed caterpillars, eating holes through the grocery money. We want our change brought in total, 'cause we ain't got it. Even when it is in our names, call it what you want. Money ain't a thing, and nothing is gone before it arrives out here. Nothing can harm us, nothing will bury us, and nothing is bigger than God. We saving up our quantum flex for some small dream pawned from the elbow down. What labor requires we force of our joints swollen heavy from this metal we drink, a mechanical bending, industrial piss from the tap. Them is not electrolytes. Believe the water bill is current though. And them kids gonna jump through the sprinkler all summer. So I moved out of Ohio one time in my life. I lived in New York for 2 years. It was a mad different experience. New York is a whole different world. But being out of the city, being out of the state, I feel like it gave me a new appreciation of where I came from and where I grew up. And yeah, new appreciation for the Rust Belt. Like we some hardy people. Like we really, we've been through a lot. We still surviving, and our souls are beautiful and tough. And I love that. So that was my little ode to the Rust Belt. I write a lot from memory. I think memory is important in such a rich environment for art and poetry. And for me specifically, just being an African American, it's hard because I feel like as an African American, I feel like I live in a liminal space. Like I can't fully reach back to the continent, to the motherland, but at the same time, I don't feel truly at home here, even though this is where I was born. And it's a complicated experience. And having a son and having to navigate that for him and try to give him the stories, the memories, the traditions, the things that I felt like I was missing growing up, it's hard. But this next poem is an effort to hold on to something and to build something new. So me and my son getting ready to go to the grocery store, right? And after he puts on his shoes and gets on his coat, I'm like, is you ready to slide? And I watch his face kind of scrunch into a question. He's like, slide? But Daddy, I thought we was going to the grocery store, not the park. And this becomes a teaching moment. One of my child's first lessons in slang. And I'm like, nah, when I say is you ready to slide, I mean is you ready to go. Slide just means go somewhere. And this is how I hand down the closest thing we have to a mother tongue. We say stow instead of store. And I watch our great-grandparents walk a great migration north up the back of his throat. He says, yo, instead of your, and a garden of mouths blossom off his tongue. I'm teaching my son how to speak 2 languages. The one that will take you away from home and the one that will bring you back to it. The one that sounds like shackles and shattered chains, and the one that will sing a song so good it'll sew a soul back together. I'm teaching him. there is power in these words that comes from a time when our survival depended on people not being able to understand what we were saying to each other. When we couldn't just say, let's go. So we spoke in code like I'm about to bounce, like we got a dip before massa peep this plan to escape this underground railroad of a language. This ability to transform to the meaning of words is just a reflection of how we turn tragedy into triumph, how we make a way out of no way, add some seasoning to a colonizer's tongue, give it some flavor. They used to say everything black was bad, and we said, you damn right I'm bad. Gave us nothing but chitlins to eat. Now watch us put the steak on everything. Yeah, we the shit, but they wanted us buried beneath the bricks of a Birmingham church, married to nothing but our death, destined to nowhere but the bottom. But look, y'all, look how fly he is. I'm teaching my son to never be a caged bird. Boy, you might not have no wings on your back, but you got them in your heart. So maybe you can't fly, but you can be fly. Put us down. Watch us defy gravity. Watch us refine reality for ourselves. Watch us reimagine this whole world through these words we use. If we the motherfucking bomb, then these words be fused. These verbs infused with the blues and all that jazz. This world broken, but this slang like a tool for that ass. So I'm teaching my son how to fix his tongue to say we gonna be alright. Like God ain't never left. Like God be writing verses to our heartbeats, beating instrumentals on our eardrums, our father freestyling in our mother's tongue, this family reunion of a language. This place inside our blossoming mouths where we don't die, we dialect. I'm teaching my son the meaning of a word. Now he be like, Daddy, I'm ready to slide. And I'd be like, word? He'd be like, word. Thank you.
Yeah. Alright, so I got a lot of Southern poems. I write a lot about my child. But you know, I'm sure if you're a parent and a poet at the same time, it's inevitable. You gotta write about your kids. If it was any blessings in the world, it's our babies. All right, so let's go here. All right, so I got my undergraduate bachelor's degree in Pan-African Studies, and it really changed my life. Not only got me introduced to black literature in a way that I hadn't been at all in public school, it just opened my eyes to so many ways. So after I graduated, I moved to Cleveland with a whole new frame of mind. And being in Cleveland, from Youngstown, Cleveland is a big city. Youngstown is like this. So I went to Cleveland, I was like, oh my God, they have trains? Like, the public transportation in Youngstown shuts down at probably 10 o'clock. So it's all bad. But Cleveland, it's a great city. It's a big black population. But it also has a lot of issues. Cleveland has one of the highest infant mortality rates for black women in the country. It's almost similar to countries that are not as developed as the United States. And there are some organizations working to fight that. And I've been a part of some of those campaigns. But I also wrote this poem to kind of speak to that, kind of give homage and respect to our black mothers. Black women give birth on battlefields that look like hospitals, that might as well be graveyards. But you can say that about the whole country. How we watch black babies be raised in hell, be raising in sun. I'm raising the sun under fire rain.
The sky is blue and everywhere like police, white men be clouds. And every night they take a sun away, and every day begins with a new morning. My mother texts me a picture of my son. She says, look at him. He is glorious. And I'm guessing that's what all the grandmothers say. And I'm guessing that's what their grandmothers must have said at some point before they were shot by the clouds in the sky. I'm guessing someone told them to be safe, because that's what black people say. Instead of goodbye, we say, see you later. Our loved ones rather us come home late than see us home going early. America likes us to be late though. Not CPT, but RIP. There was a shooting, but you can say that about every day. Ain't shit new. They say black person dies, but we been new. Bullets are a renewable resource here. For a country that hates nature, we sure know how to recycle racism, how to upcycle murder. We sure know how to reuse violence and how to repurpose bigots. Trying to be everywhere, black love happens, but black love happens everywhere. Anyway, black love grows through the concrete. Use all the bullshit to fertilize this rose, this rise of the heart, this rhythm of blues in the blood. Black love romantic and magic, ratchet, platonic. Put you on to plutonium. Black love bass like that. Go boom in your face, just like that. I've always loved science. I got some people who love science.
Yeah.
Science is my favorite subject growing up. Before I became a writer. But with that being said, it's hard. It's hard being a lover of science in the world with the internet. Because you're exposed to all types of people with all kind of mindsets. And that includes people who think the earth is flat. For some reason. You'd be surprised. I found out Kyrie Irving.
Yes. That's all you can do is sigh.
That's all you can do is sign. But it really made me mad. But I had a friend we was really close. But one day I found out that he thought the earth was flat. But he didn't think the earth was flat all the way. He just wasn't convinced that it was round. And I just couldn't believe that it had got so close to me. Like, I thought I was cultivating like a circle, like a community.
Wow.
Alright, so I wrote this poem to address that. It's halfway in jest, but I know the earth ain't flat. And I know this not really for any scientific reason. I know this because people climb Mount Everest. And I'm not saying that the existence of Mount Everest proves that the earth is round. What I'm saying is that people climb Mount Everest. If the earth was flat and surrounded by a giant wall of ice, somebody would have climbed it. They would have been over there. It would have been at least a part of 3 empires by now. It would have had a French or English name at least once. There would be stories of great voyages to the end of the earth, of the exotic glacier savages found surviving in the icy desert. Their customs of shooting albatross out the sky and letting them freeze before eating would be a delicacy in fancy restaurants. Their whole history would be turned to a myth. And so much art would be made from their myths about the gods they've seen over the edge, the devils that have climbed out of the void, the feeling they woke up in when they dreamed about it. There would be a word for it, made popular from some Disney movie like Hakuna Matata. Their diaspora would complain about how the main character is too European, that the accent is atrocious, that the wardrobe is a stereotype. The end of the world would surely be a tourist destination. civilization. By now, there would be skyscrapers and Fortune 500 companies. There would be a shopping district and Hilton hotels. There would be ski slopes and Top Golf and roller coasters that allowed you to see out for miles and miles. There would be miles and miles of railing and netting to catch all the wayward people falling off the edge. There would be luxury apartments with a scenic view of the abyss. Fathers would hold their babies up over the balcony and say, one day you'll touch the firmament. If the earth was flat, people would be exploring. And I'm sure it would be the astrophysicists who would be the first to jump. If the earth was flat and this was all there is.
Yeah.
I'll do one more poem and then I'll let you might have to
Sounds great.
save the rest for the end. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna do this one because it's relevant. So yeah, y'all poetry, y'all are poets in here, right? We poets mostly?
Yeah.
Poets? Okay.
Trying.
If you don't know this, if you don't know a poet, if you don't have a poet in your life, if you aren't lucky enough, I'm gonna let you in on the secret. Poets, we don't got no money. We don't make no money. And it's hard. But you know, we got our poems. We write poems about it. So I wrote this poem about that. Just about that. And it's extra relevant because I just left the Plasma Donation Center yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
you know, especially nowadays, it's everything. Inflation is crazy.
Yeah.
This poem is called Brokeology. The study of I ain't got it. Or the study of how to use water to stretch ketchup to last a month. Or the study of how to turn not enough into just enough. And I know black moms, they don't play. They be like, every light on in the goddamn house, though. I think a lot of poor black kids are raised this way, afraid letting a little light shine will run up the bill. My brother and I couldn't even afford to be afraid of the dark, but even the monsters in our closet were secondhand. Poverty was a hand-me-down. We would dress our backs in problems way too big for our small bodies to fit into. Still wear poor like it's a brand name, like it don't brand our name, a stigma, a stamp. But it's not all bad, 'cause at least you can buy food with it, right? And I mean, you learn a lot in Brokeology, like how to cook up a bath on a stove, like how to turn an oven into a fireplace, like how to keep a heart warm with just words. Too, Brokeology got me through college. Taught me how to hit a lick on the McDonald's. When you ain't got no money to eat, you just hit them up and be like, yeah, I just came through the drive-thru and ordered some food, but you guys forgot to give me my 2 McDoubles and my small fry. It may not be the most honest thing, but trust me, it's a lie you will swallow when you're hungry. The first time I walk into a temp agency, it's a room full of all black people sitting in 2 rows of benches with no backs, all facing forward this window where this white man stands, all captain of the slave ship, deciding where we will work or what company will own our bodies for the next 8 hours. And I think, how sad. How we have to accept crumbs willingly, offer up our veins to vampires, sell ourselves out to bring money in. But America is a peculiar place. Here, prostitution is illegal, but it's perfectly okay to sell your body if it's the blood in your veins, whether it's for the military, the workforce, or the Plasma Donation Center. Offering up our arms is always seen as noble, but how do you think I got here? Do you think I could afford this journey without sacrifice, without offering up my veins to vampires, without selling myself out to bring money in, get money, make it rain so that my seed can grow, or at least my son can afford to turn his light on. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm excited for this open mic. Can't wait to hear the poems y'all brought. Thank y'all for listening.
Yeah. All right. All right, that's good. Damien has been on my radar to feature here for a long damn time. You can probably see why. Give it up one more time for Damien McClendon. Fantastic. A couple housekeeping things. We're going to do a short break and then we're getting that open mic started. Speaking of which, if you're not on the list and want to be, my open mic sign up is over there. Everybody is welcome if you'd like on there. We're going to keep it to 2 poems or less as usual, except Ed gets a special exemption. Ed can do 3. You'll see why if you're not already familiar. Give it up for the Rialto Theatre. We got Seth Vale here. We got Nate Vale here. These brothers own this place and pour their love in. They're musicians. They're artists. They do this for the love of art, for the love of community. Like they're back there doing the work themselves. So get your drinks with Seth, get your food with Nate. Over here we've got some cookies, as you can see. I did make my cookies again. You're welcome to grab a cookie if you'd like. On the table over here, I make pottery with my mom, the Angry Cow Poetry mugs. And sometimes they turn out exactly how you want them, and sometimes something changes or someone does something and you're like, eh. So what I've got here is kind of the seconds, the ones that I'm happy to just have walk out the door tonight. So if you want a mug or two, anything on the table is free to a good home, or the little logos on there. But there's also a merch table if you need a hoodie. Nate was sporting that earlier today, but you know, in the kitchen back in a t-shirt, several different colors if you're interested. And then speaking of broke poets, we have a suggested $5 donation. There is no cover, but in order to do this, we want our poets paid. So please throw them in if you're willing and able. You can throw them cash right in the pot here, or there are QR codes over there if it's easier to do any Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, that sort of thing. Feel free to get that to me, and I'll get that to Damien. I'll get it straight to Damien too. So yeah, give yourselves 5-10 minutes, mingle, order food, order drinks, use the restroom. We'll be back soon. All right, y'all, we are going to get this mic back open for the open mic. We have 6 folks on the open mic list. 3 of them, it is their very first time up on this stage. So that is pretty exciting. I'm glad you're all here. But we're starting with a newer regular that we connected several months ago, and love having you here. Please welcome to the mic, Rachel Lansing.
Are we doing all right? Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Ready.
Yeah, ready.
Woo!
That makes most of you, not me. Okay. So I have 2 for you tonight. They're both brand humor new, like within the past week. We are taking them for a test drive, so we're going to see how they go. So the first one I have for you tonight is called Pharmacon.
No, I can see.
Sappho pulls the poison from my veins. A bittersweet lullaby extraction. Hands me my coat. Warns against the chill. The weather turns so easily. Like the backs of lovers. Caked in sweat. Stuck to sheets. Peel them off and expose fingerprint trails. Colonizing lands best left undiscovered by venomous fingertips. They pretend my hands are not fangs. And the next one I have for you. Do shapes of the alphabet have names? Language is the magic that defined the world. Before the alchemical nature of the alphabet, we were dust and atoms colliding. Predecessor grunts and gestures not yet familiar with the spines and stems descending below the imaginary lines we had drawn for ourselves. Was there a sound for love before we gave it a name? How did we spell the chime of a soul before the bends and curves gave voice to all that was written there? We painted on caves with no way to say more than the pigments of berries and dirt. Would I know what to call you when my fingers tried to remember your face? When I pluck my own from strange water reflection and recreate myself on stone walls? Where would I find the culprit that pins up the corners of my mouth, hangs weariness beneath my eyes? Where would I find what to call myself before the shapes of the alphabet had names?
Love it. Thanks so much. Give it up one more time for our Lansing. We're going to go not to our new poets to the stage first. We're going to go bang, bang, bang to those in just a second. But we have a longtime regular here. Before I tell you about that, where'd Jim go? See in the back? Yeah. I'm going to tell you about Jim later then. I'll just tell you about Ed. So Ed Amann's been coming here, I don't know how long, pretty close to the beginning it feels like, every month. And one of the things I love is that Ed writes on the spot. Ed comes in, Ed sits down, he usually beats me here, and he writes. And oftentimes we get to hear what he wrote that same day. He's a singer too. He does events here at the Rialto. I think he'll tell you about one coming up in a little bit here. But please welcome to the stage, Ed Amann.
Yeah, like Keith said, ain't my first rodeo here. All these go by really quick. Tonight's effort, especially, I think I got a whole 30 words here. Painted desert, edge of sunrise, only silence. Shades of gray, sunrise silence. Colors rising, orange faded, yellow, pink, steady stillness. Silent stone, bright sky, pale and cold, icy silence. Colors brighten, still in silence. Bird calls out, spell broken. Thank you so much. I kind of got to back announce that one. It's a memory. I went out to the painted desert one morning, and that's pretty much how it went.
Nice.
Very nice.
Okay, let's see what I got. Something I must do. I should be writing love songs and singing them to you, but I'm marching to the barricades. It's something I must do. For us to have a life of love, our country must be free of would-be kings who'd steal us blind. We must help folks to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I will be here doing music on February the 20th at 5:30. I'll be here for Angry Cow sometime before that.
Thank you, Ed. Really like that memory.
Give it up, Ed Amann. All right. So another one of our most faithful regulars here is often quiet on this night because it's not their normal way to perform, but is a singer-songwriter, and you can hear him, have been able to hear him for years. But you can hear him the first Thursday. He's done this really special event where he brings in two other singers, two other musicians, and in the back room, they each go there, they cover each other's songs, they sing their own songs, and it's coming to an end. This kind of magical year of all this amazing coordination and time and effort, and beautiful shows. And the last one is tomorrow, and that's Kathy and Michael from Grady Miller, one of the best bands around. So come out tomorrow night if you're able. Hear some great music in the back room, 5 o'clock.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Jim Ballard. You can also catch him on Spotify on the ride home if you want. And next up, we have the very first time to this stage. Please welcome Tasha Lynn.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm gonna take my glasses off so I can't see any of you. So much better this way.
Good trick.
So I have never done an open mic before. I've read before, but I've never been here. This is my first time here, and I said, what the hell?
So glad to have you.
And I just had my phone here, but then I wandered away from it.
All good.
All right, so I've been writing poetry for a number of years. I had a few mental breakdowns along the way, and poetry kind of helped me put my brain back together again, and then it just turned into part of my life.
Yeah.
I have a book that I just finished. It's in review right now, so it'll be ready to purchase in a few weeks. I'm really excited about it.
Yay.
It's called Flutters, and it's about that time between when a butterfly breaks out of the shell, but they're not quite ready to fly yet. Takes a while. I've been dealing with shortness of breath. It's anxiety-induced, obviously. So if I stop talking for a minute, just be patient with me. I'll get there.
Take your time, poet.
But these are very short. I have two. They're very, very short. The first one's called The End. It's not like no one warned me every single morning. In a procrastinator's mind, it's not a soft incline rising with time, but a cliff with a prayer and a leap at the end of the line. Jump, fly, go. It's time.
Yeah.
Sorry, my voice got cracky.
Good.
All right. And this is another one I wrote years ago. It's one of the very first poems I ever shared, and I've never read it out loud before, so let's see what happens. It's called New Shoes. Excited, I stood in new shoes, holding a comfortable, colorful lunchbox, with a nervous beating heart and jeans well worn at the seams. Hopeful, I walked through double doors, shoes squeaking, hands sweating, ready for the future, excited for a job to do. Broken, I left. Head hanging, ears ringing, walking past childish side-eye laughter, with traumas, inferiorities, and memories that'll last evidently for all eternity. Years went by. I shrunk. I withered. I waited to die. Until life tapped me on the shoulder and told me it's time. There's still a job to do. First, I ran away, remembering only the pain and shame of all the very last times I ever said, this is the very last time I will ever try. And then I did the only thing I knew how to do. Excited, I stood in new shoes.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Not just surviving, but thriving. Bring that book back when you got it done next time you come. Please give it up for Tasha Lynn. Our next poet, also new to this stage, but has talked about coming at least once in the past, and this time you're able to make it. Please welcome, I'm Just a Poet.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I like the crowd.
Hey.
All right. My real name is Marcus. Stage name is I'm Just a Poet. I got into performing poetry in 23, a little bit after my mom had passed. And poetry was like that outlet. I was introduced to it years ago when I was a teenager, and it was never consistent with it. And something about life and tragedy and loss that draws you to words. And ever since then, I've been writing. And so my name is that poet that likes to inspire, that likes you to think, motivates you. And so I kind of speak either from a pain or a perspective of pain, but hope. But then also I like to listen to my spirit of God and how He speaks and through me. So a lot of that kind of goes that way. Recently I had writer's block for about 2 months. It was tough.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think I wrote like 2 poems in 2 months. And I recently wrote this one. It's called Good Morning, the introduction. Not the morning with the sunrise, but good morning. And so just listen to the words. I remember the first time I entered your body. I went on a Saturday night where you needed something to ease your mind and to relax your soul. The days leading up to our first encounter, I was nervous because I knew what it was going to do for the both of us. Because I've been around the block, matter of fact, I've had encounters with other members within your family for many generations. That night I had hesitation and I had reservations for me just to make the first move. Watching you grow up through the eyes of others, I knew you would be special. You had dreams and inspirations and aspirations that were bigger than life. You wanted to be the first in your family to accomplish what others couldn't do, such like go to school debt-free. Be the first to graduate with your doctorate. Open a nonprofit, get into real estate, have a healthy marriage. You have big dreams. Life made you promises. But I came along and wanted to be a part of everything you had going on for yourself. I wanted to be encapsulated within your thoughts. I wanted to hold your body hostage and to be captive. I needed you to need me at your weakest, your lowest, and your most vulnerable state. Like John Mayer said, your body is a wonderland. Because once we became an item, your big dreams and aspirations soon folded. You settled for working an 8 to 5 that only pays $10.25. Owing multiple payday loans, settling for broken relationships, and not having any degrees. Should I go on? You've now joined the family legacy where we're rooted and we're planted. You can't get rid of me because I am in your bloodline. Once you have children, I will come after them and ruin their dreams, aspirations, and childhood. They will know me the way you do. I'll send my offspring to befriend yours. I am at every family reunion. I am every birthday party. I show up uninvited to all the holiday functions. I show up just like Tupac did in Poetic Justice. Cousin! How poetic is that I am revealed through poetic words because I leave you wanting more after the first hit. I'm that secret that you are ashamed to speak of. I'm that thing that you don't want to take accountability for. Again, your body is a wonderland. So, good morning, my friend. I am here. We will never, ever part ways. I am who and what you thought of during this poem. Good morning. This is just the introduction. To be continued. So, again, I kind of like to tell stories. In this one, I believe this will lead into a series of poems. It could be like good morning, the introduction, good morning, the sunrise, or something like that, just speaking from different perspectives and certain things. And I know that one may have been a little bit heavy, but I want to leave you all with this one. It's called A True Story. Just like how each person has a story to tell, like we're all poets, we're all creatives in certain ways, this is dedicated to us. So it says, to all my fellow poets, artists, and creatives, this poem is dedicated to you. To let you know that you are seen, to let you know that you aren't alone, to let you know that your craft matters. As creatives, there's tension between the concept and the completion. We tend to always ask ourselves, is this the right time for this to be displayed for public consumption? We struggle with bearing our pain and truth for others to be invited into, to examine our lives. For some, being a poet, an artist, a creative, it's hard. because that's all that individuals see, but tend to bypass the human being. They may not have known that your body is going through some challenges, that your rent and bills are past due, that your parent is ill. They just don't know what's behind the words, what's behind the paintings, what's behind the lyrics, or even what the content is. Being a creative isn't just a job. It's literally woven into our DNA. For some, it's our closest connection to God. For some, it is what brought us back to Him. This is our life's work and our story. And just like Miss Erykah Badu said, we are sensitive about our shit. It's through our trauma and our triggers we pen some of the most profound words ever known to man. Your lived experience is someone's escape and first step. Your healing is someone else's hope. Your testimony is someone's dream. So I say to you, my poet, keep going, keep moving, keep writing, keep thinking, keep speaking, or even keep painting. Because truth be told, you need the words you speak. It's your truth on that pad. It's your life lived out through these lyrics. Is to document the progress that you made. Your collections are the soundtrack of a true love story. A story that has grieved, a story that has laughed, a story that has cried, a story that questioned, a story with very low lows and very high highs. This story is yours. This story is needed to be told. This story is a true story. It's yours.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was gonna remember the line and then I lost it, but your art matters. You said it more eloquently than that, but that's why we're here. Appreciate y'all coming out. Please keep coming. We have one more new voice to this stage. Please welcome to the mic, Maggie. You do, unfortunately. You will be fine.
That's right.
I think so.
So, like Damien, I write inspired by my children sometimes. So, I wrote this poem after my teenage son lost his best friend in high school. And my sister said that I should warn people of a trigger warning that the poem deals with suicide. And just as a reminder, suicide is the second leading cause of death in young teens. So if you have any hint of suicidal thoughts or in someone that you know, please reach out to get help and call 988. So this poem is untitled. 2. His father cut down the tree not long after they cut him down. The rope holding sway, the boy not yet a body. Mistaken for a trick-or-treat Halloween ghoul dangling in red maple branches by neighbors driving past the yard until caught by the sight of his face with glasses still on. Pounding on the front door, little sister, big brother still safely cocooned inside. Call 911, hurry, knife to cut the rope, rock, paper, scissors. His neck freed, lungs barely breathing, his unwanted reflex. Red blood cells coursed to his brain with hemoglobin depleted of oxygen. Not Undine's curse this time, this self-inflicted hypoventilation, incompatible with life. The teen's wishes clearly spelled out in the note his parents will struggle to comprehend for years, ending, "If something goes wrong, please don't keep me alive." His spoken words were never so clear to his best friend, my youngest. Boys will be boys, a modern game of telephone, texted in macabre innuendo between exploding soldiers on first-person shooter games. My boy's cedar, still like a sapling himself, growing tall, but no match for this type of ideation. SI, complete with intent, plan, and means, neatly couched in not-so-cryptic comments. LOL, what do you think the Walmart lady would say if I walked up to the checkout with a chair and a rope? Laughing, crying face. A buddy slap on the wrist. Dude, don't joke like that. 1. And could my son have fared any better than his roots reaching back 20 years? His own father missing the signs and symptoms of an angry, hurting nephew, until the uncle came upon the teen's car on the side of the wooded road one afternoon, flanked by a cop cruiser, the officer beckoning. You know whose vehicle this is? Together, into the tangled woods, the two men climbed the ridge through blameless trees to reach the boy's body, already cut from the branches.
Blameless trees. What a good line.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Powerful. Give it up one more time for Maggie. And I don't know if we did this. I was so busy celebrating what you said. Give it up one more time for Marcus for I'm Just a Poet. I'm not sure we did that, and we should have. I'm going to read a couple pieces, and we'll get our feature back up here soon. I get writer's block too. I'm kind of jealous that your writer's block is I only wrote 2 pieces in the last 2 months. Like you're still writing through block. I'm like, yeah. I do have a poem that I'm working on, and I thought I'd have it ready tonight, but like Tasha and I were talking, it's definitely not ready. And so it's not coming out tonight, and partly it's just a busy week and I get a chance to finish it. So I'm going to go to a contrapuntal, which is one of my favorite forms of poetry to play with. This is my first one. So if you're not yet familiar with contrapuntal, you write it in 2 columns. You go down first, you go down here for the second one, and you read across. Statues. Marbleized on top of a horse, plaques of honor engraved, basking in sunlight, perch on a pedestal casting shadows, hiding in darkness the lingering bird shit, an undiscussed atrocity for all, the promised shine that never seems to come, another disappointment, another day, teaching history. The ghost of history, pale white faces gallantly saving the day, the usual names in our young minds, heroes proudly built impossibly high over all below them. The reality of America's proclamations, with freedom preached loudly each day. Another lesson read with fanfare in an American history classroom. Statues teaching history. The ghost of history, marvelized pale white faces on top of a horse, gallantly saving the day. Plaques of honor. The usual names engraved in our young minds, basking in sunlight. Heroes proudly perched on a pedestal built impossibly high, casting shadows over all below them. Hiding in darkness the reality of the lingering bird shit. America's proclamations, an undiscussed atrocity, with freedom for all preached loudly. The promised shine each day that never seems to come. Another lesson. Another disappointment read with fanfare. Another day in an American history classroom. Appreciate that. I'll do one more for you. So we have this really weird Thanksgiving tradition for our politicians, for our presidents, that you can trace back to some extent to Truman, but in the way it is currently, you can trace it back to George H.W. Bush and every president since. So I think I'll let the rest of the piece speak for itself, but that's the setup. Some of you are already familiar with it. 45 million turkeys fall to our bloody hands in the course of a holiday, but we'll praise ourselves for the 2 we spare. Pointless political pageantry where our bloodthirsty saviors will still fully savor the flesh of finely roasted death, but we'll call them lucky, the 2 whose necks we didn't place beneath our axe. Lucky it wasn't their blood we drained. Lucky it wasn't their anal cavities we stuffed with bread. Lucky for our endless kindness. Lucky we bothered to give them a name. Lucky we pardoned them from their countless turkey crimes. Lucky we even noticed their life prior to taking it. Lucky our forks found a different victim. Lucky we bred 45 million others we'll kill instead, while we'll call the only 2 we spare lucky. Appreciate it. We're going to do a super short break, long enough for me to change the battery in my camera because we'll never make it. Restrooms down the hall. If you order another drink or food, are you still doing food? You're still doing it.
I'm done.
Done. Okay. Food's done. Mr. Chance, if you didn't already, it's great. Appreciate it. But grab your drink, talk to neighbor. Seriously, give me like real quick. Not like a poet, 5 minutes, it takes 15. Give me long enough to turn the camera on, get the battery to the camera, we'll get going.
That's a musician.
Musician 5-minute break too. All right, y'all. We have one more poet to bring back up to the mic. The video collection I do, Outdoor Voices in Indoor World, puts together a lot of different poets. I started in COVID when like the whole world shut down, and I still wanted to have some sort of way to gather, and I've slowed down the pace, but I still do it. All poets are welcome to submit. The next ones due like mid-January, January 15th, something like that. You're all welcome to send in. The very second one, Damien sent me a piece for, which is still one of my favorite pieces I've ever put in there. And not only was the poem one of my favorite pieces in there, but the style of the video, the way you recorded it was so much better than what most of us do, like stand in front of a camera. It was just really beautiful and very powerful piece. You've already heard first set, so you know what's coming back up here. Please welcome to the back. Let me try that again. Please welcome back to the mic, Damien McClendon.
Thanks, Keith.
Yeah.
It's good to be back up here.
Hey.
I'm glad I got to hear everybody's poems. Thank y'all for blessing me. I always love hearing new poets that I haven't heard before and getting like y'all perspective and like I feel like I kind of learned a little bit about each poet through their poems. So thank y'all for letting me get to know y'all a little bit. And yeah, I got some more poems for y'all.
Yeah.
So sometimes I write without thinking. I do automatic writing from like the surrealist.
I do everything without thinking is what that was.
Because I get writer's block too, and like I feel a good way to get out of that is to just type something, get into your subconscious, let it go out. So this poem is I don't know, we'll see. Hairy tooth against the tongue, tungsten feather on a slug's slicked back. These clouds in my eyes are lightweight, heavy. I had the dream again, where everyone is walking away into some seductive, shadowless place. I came from somewhere, but when I look back, there's nothing but sea and sea. Before I can ask, a face reminded me of June. Tell me, it's not all in my head. Some of it is much, much deeper. The ground is full of memories. And from the ground, small winged creatures take flight. And flight is a quality of the heart. The ground took flight from your heart. Now a firefly has it. My world is flying away from me in 1,000 little flashes of light, 1,000 lighthouses at sea. I point to the one that remembers your name, the warmth of a small fire. And that would be the light heaven's moon reflects. A night falls, then day breaks. I sing into an hour of sand and exhale a glass god, the shape of a vase. I fill it with poems, birds of paradise, baby's breath. Right. So I grew up with my grandmother. I was blessed to grow up with my grandmother. And yeah, this poem is dedicated to her. Her name's Frances. So when a stream flows into another stream, it's called an influence. Yes.
Nice.
I come from those children, always running off at the mouth or to somewhere great. Little tributaries growing deeper by the day. God knows the number of paths we took, running all over the place with our grandmother's gratitude across the earth, through the thick mud and marrow, our narrow behinds pushing our way forward, future, back home. A button fell off my shirt today. As I picked it up, I thought about my grandmother. She was a seamstress, material girl, woman of needle and thread. She used to sew that which was brought to her torn, and we came from broken homes, addiction running loose through our blood like a seam split, a wardrobe distressed, generation of needles. Off this thread, my grandmother made a family tie. At her sewing machine with the foot pedal, she made sure we didn't fall apart. She knew life was fabric. Where it was fragile, she worked her magic, her patchwork, her stitch witchery. I wish I knew how to sew as a way to remember my grandmother's power, and more than just memory and muscle memory, because forgetting happens quietly. I almost didn't notice the button falling off my shirt like a crab apple, crow's belly growing, growling for my sweet memory. I held on, I held tight. My desire was to unripe the fruit, disbloom the flower. I want to watch it unfold again. I remember her tomato pincushion, butter bowl of loose buttons, millions of tomorrows whose hands reach out like root systems. My grandmother was a seamstress, and with a needle and thread, she sewed her soul to the earth. She was a seed. Today I lost a button, but since I don't know how to sew, I just pushed it into the soil. And this was a reunion, a memory hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah, very good. Fabulous.
Thank you. It must be the way the ground mixes with the water. It must be the mud The filth from which a garden grows beautiful, it must be the garden where my grandmother grew her tomatoes red. It must be the green tomatoes picked and fried. It must be the smell that fills a home when the fire is just high enough to make a dozen wings fried golden. It must be my grandmother's cooking. Must be the cast iron skillet, black as night and heavy as morning. It must be the grief, sticky as cholesterol in my blood. It must be family. Gotta be the sum of aunties, nephews, brothers, sisters, cousins. It gotta be something. It must be the memories, must be the hair braided on the side porch, the whip of a rat tail comb parting the thickest texture of sea. It must be the grid, the electricity, the sparks heard when a nap is busted from a head. It must be the star sound stars make when being born. It must be the dead, must be the white doves lifting off the heads bowed in prayer, the tears falling for generations. It must be the wounds, the cuts, the burns, the bruise. It must be the blues and the pus, the metal aching to rust. It must be something regal like the color purple. It must be from the gut or the south. It must be the soul of a preacher in the flesh of a bee. It must be a sign from my ancestors. It must be my ancestors dancing in their best shoes, wearing their favorite dreams. It must be the dreams accumulating in the back of my throat like a cry. It must be the dreams that only got to die in the back of a throat. It must be a raisin in a child's palm, a song in a gospel singer's stomach. It gotta be something bigger than me, like joy or a baby. It must be holy or magic. It must be my mother calling my name from the other side of town. Must be the way she used to sit at home and say, listen, when I wake up in the morning without the strength or desire to get out of bed, it ain't me moving me. So it must be, it must be, it must be, it must be. All right, got some more poems for y'all. This next one is kind of long, so bear with me. It's gonna be about the longest one.
All right.
In Swahili culture, when someone dies, they live on in the memories of the people who knew them. This is called sasa. When the last person who knew them dies, they are still not forgotten. They are revered as they move into the limitless past. This is called zamani. These concepts are not separated like how we think of past, present, and future. They overlap and blend into each other. Like Saul Williams said, before death is eternity. After death is eternity. There is no death. There is only eternity. Now, of all the brothers I know, I probably know like one or two Swahili brothers. Yet it seems like all these brothers I know, regardless of where they came from, practice the concept of sasa and zamani. Like we all know that when we die, we don't die. This is why we say their names. The reason for the homegoing. The celebration that comes with the mourning. So many brothers have told me that they don't want their funerals to be sad, that they want people to turn up. My mother has told me she wants people to dance at her homegoing, so I'm gonna be the first one on the dance floor, fucking it up. With tears in my eye, this is why we say their names. While brothers circle up and pour out liquor libations, sacrifice the homie's portion to the earth to let them know that they are still kept like a childhood memory. This is why we say their names, while we put their faces on t-shirts and wear their smiles to show their joy has not left this world. Our loved ones don't leave us. They just close their eyes and wake up someplace better. This is why we say their names. And when a black person is murdered and we march in the street and we fight for them, even when we never knew them in life, we know their life was someone's whole world. This is why we say their names, because we know that they are not gone. They are still here. They are still here. They are still here. You can watch a lynching from anywhere in the world now. get black trauma barely lifting a finger. Take this quiz to find out what color of black death you feel like today. As long as it has the power, the state will keep killing us. And it don't matter where we are in the world at the time, because they gonna make us watch. They gonna zoom in, turn the volume up so we can hear the last breath leave the body. The moment the black mother's tears fall on air, you'll get a notification. We'll watch as the state covers our cold blood and fresh paint, murders us, then writes Black Lives Matter on our corpses. And we gotta look up from our phones and see our black mothers' faces, have to face our black children's little lives, knowing we have nothing that will keep them safe. Just hope and prayer, which cannot stop a bullet. Our eyes bleed tears. The earth cries blood, and we attempt to overcome death on a daily basis. Struggle to hold up the sun in our perpetual mourning while they shout, "Not all cops are bad," in the background, while people trying to all lives matter us into extinction. The revolution won't be televised because black death is so much more entertaining. White racist sees black life killed on camera, and it's like training, but so draining for us to know shit don't change for us. It's like a nigga is born and that it's danger for us. Our anger is just the result of seeing demons make angels of us. The pain and adjustment we ain't got the healing for. Just a whole lot of clenched rage in a heaven that's running low on halos. They say all vengeance belongs to God, but I think we need some back for when we fight back. History says if you want to move forward, you gotta shoot back. Says liberty or death, and we've been dying, so where the freedom at? In Cleveland, damn near 50% of black people live in poverty. In Cleveland, over $250 million is spent on a mostly white police department. So every time your job cut your check, a piece of your money goes to an officer to over-police our neighborhoods. We pay their mortgage while we struggle to pay our rent. We pay their salaries and they use it to kill us for no reason. Tamir Rice and wonder while we protest. Wonder why we be so ready to fuck shit up. American bird. We live and vote on which wing we think will keep our lives afloat, like both wings and attached to the same body. Call it Jim Crow, but it's really just a pig perched on a pyramid of poor people pretending to fly. Call it defunding the police, or call it pulling pork apart. Call it cutting up the belly of the beast and feeding the belly to the people. We coming, and every freedom fighter that earth holds for us, every black life forced into ancestry the state thought was dead is coming back to life through us. Having met God already, we no longer fear death. We hear our trauma American made, and this karma got America's name on it. We coming from projects and gentrified apartment complex, from gangsters in grad school, from pulpit and trap house, from country and concrete jungle, from niggas with jobs and niggas that hustle, from niggas in mansions to niggas with nothing. We coming from Tubman and Tabernacle, from Mosque and Malcolm X, from God and Allah, Vodun and Ifa. We coming, Black Jesus with a Molotov cocktail. We coming, and we gonna show the world. We gonna zoom in, turn the volume up so they can hear this freedom being got, this justice being served, this black mouth calling out in the night. Ashe, ashe, ashe. All right, so three more poems for y'all. This next poem, it's gonna flow into the one after. So I wrote this poem before my son was born. And this was at a time when police brutality was going crazy. It was like, when I was at undergrad, when I came into undergrad, we had a string of deaths. We had Trayvon Martin, and Tamir Rice, then Michael Brown, Philando Castile, Sandra Bland. Like, it was just on and on and on. So I was just feeling like it was just really hard to bring a black child into the world at the time. And this is what I was feeling. In Cleveland, Ohio, a black child baby dies before their first birthday every week, at a rate 6 times that of white babies. The ones that make it out to their second already have stories written in their eyes of how they made it out. People already looking at my toddler like a credit to his race, and I do not know how to protect him from this. I can't hollow death into an invisibility cloak. Give it to my son to keep the white gaze off his black light. This ain't Hogwarts. This father's magic knows no such spell. The incantations I speak barely summon enough bread to get us by most days. They say it takes a village to raise a child. I know it takes a child to raise a village. I know it takes a child to keep a plantation alive. When people call my son cute, I question whether to take it as a compliment or a warning. At what age does cute become criminal? Are you looking at my toddler and thinking thug, thinking innocence, proven guilty, thinking just a matter of time? Is that why every parent who tells me my son is cute always says the same thing after? Enjoy them while they're young. They grow up so fast and then they're gone. The scariest thing in the world is to be a black parent, to be creator of a life that does not matter to the village. Black child is not life in America, will never get to be a child. Black child grows up at 12 and still be getting put in a child's place. Black child does not know where this place is. Black child is born against the law, and murder is so easy to get away with when it is legal. Black child is the ground America stands on. Black child is the village, how the past, present, and future come together. So many ancestors dance on his skin. There are a million hands inside of his little hands, all collecting the sky for him. Black child, gotta give you a space big enough to hold your big head and all the dreams roam there. Black child, you harmony of earth tones, you melodic melanin, music for God's ears. Black song, you are, black child, you are a song to me. Every organ in your body singing alive. So I also work in the Juvenile Justice Center in Cleveland. I also worked in the one in Lorraine. I've worked in multiple. Everyone I've been in, the majority of the population are black boys. I don't know if y'all have these in Akron. In Cleveland, we have the Kia Boys. So y'all familiar with the Kia Boys? No? So the Kia Boys are a group of kids, teenagers, and they go around stealing cars. And how they do this is that Kia, they have some type of malfunction in their cars to where you can get into the car, you can start the car with the USB cord. So what the kids were doing is they were breaking into cars, they were stripping down the ignition cover and using a USB cord to start the cars and taking the cars. One day I was at the West Side Market and they got me. They didn't steal my car though. They broke into it, they broke the ignition cover, and they started the car with the USB cord, but I didn't have no gas. So they just left the car. I've never been more happy to be broke and I have no gas. But yeah, so I was still very upset. I was really mad. I was very mad. But I also work in a juvenile justice center and I see these kids. And some of them brag about being Kia Boys. And no matter how mad I was, I still saw that they were still just kids. And just thinking about my poems and my beliefs and my politics, I'm like, sometimes you want to be mad, but you can't be mad all the way. You can't fully give into it because it's like you're just a product of what you've been through, this environment. So this is for the Kid Boys. I wrote a poem for the Kid Boys. It's all love. It's all love. Kid Boys. We used to use USB cords to steal music. Now young black boys use USB cords to steal cars. For the same reason we used to steal music. Because we wanted to escape. And someone is going to say, something must be wrong with these boys. So I'm going to have to stop you and say, no. How could we, who are a stolen people, not love our little rebels? Who be repressed in our community bodies like vestigial organs, and yet still, somewhere, under all their nightfall, they remember we used to have a backbone, one that bursted into two black wings. Now picture two black boys flying down the freeway. And before the thought of anything bad happening to them enters your mind, look up and see the birds and ask yourself, what are you willing to steal for a brief, wondrous freedom? Probably nothing. Now ask yourself, what name do you call this land? In what language is the law written here? Who stole for you to be here legally? Was it Washington, Columbus, Cleveland? Kia Boys. One day we'll name a city after you. Our resourceful outcasts, our foolish insurgents, too young to understand that you aren't really stealing cars. You yourself are the vehicles, and the police are stealing you from us. America is stealing us again. All right, so I got one more poem for y'all. And I had stopped performing this poem for a while, but then Donald Trump got elected again. So I had to break it up to vote.
Yeah, we feel your pain. Share it.
Slavery auditions for the role of Jesus Christ in a movie called America.
Was that your intro?
Love thy niggers. Wait, I'm sorry. Shoot. That's not the line. Let me start over. Love thy neighbors. Wait. So y'all really gonna make me audition? Me. Slavery. The motherfucker who made y'all rich enough to make this movie in the first place. And when I say motherfucker, I mean I literally fucked the motherland until she gave birth to a nation. I'm the daddy. So you think I can't play the son? The one who said, and whoever wants to be first must be slave of all. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as ransom for many. See, I read the Bible, shoot. I helped write the Bible. I know the word of God by heart, for I am the good shepherd, willing to lay down my life for my sheep. For I have the power to lay down my life and the power to take it back up again. Shoot. It's like I could have wrote those words myself. Question. Have you ever read a script and just connected with the characters so much you felt like you were reading your own story? Like, I too have been a good shepherd. I too have gathered masses of wool and renamed them sheep. Did I not lay down my life and take it back up again in the same amendments? Shoot, me and Jesus, we basically the same person. Matter of fact, I'm more Jesus than Jesus. I was converting Christians before he was even thought about. Without me, Moses would have been just another nigga without a job. And what of Job? Did God not take his slaves and give him back double? Bless him in my name before Christ. I was the first savior to every somebody I carried across the Atlantic. I've been walking on water. Got so many bronze feet and woolly heads, I won't need makeup and wardrobe. Just give me the cross. I'm an expert at playing dead. Just give me the parts, and I will deliver you a divine deliverer. My performance will take everybody's breath away. I can see it now. America, starring slavery as Jesus Christ. You can cast capitalism as the Virgin Mary. Racism and sexism is John and Peter. Don't even worry about funding. I'm sure the president will produce this masterpiece and play it in the White House on repeat, and Fox News will proclaim that this is the most American movie ever made. Thank y'all. That's my time. Thank you so much, Keith, for having me. Thank y'all so much for your ears and your poems. I hope we have a blessed night. Everybody get home safely and warmly. And thank y'all again for letting me be here.